Today's issue is all about numbness in fingers. In this video, I'm going to show you how I minimize that sensation once I feel that in my body. Again, it's my opinion only. This is how I help myself. Since I've had results, I'd like to share and hopefully it helps you as well. So maybe you sleep like you're practicing to audition for the Cirque du Soleil, if I said that properly. Or let's say you sit in one position every day for way too long. I cannot believe when this sent this. Yes, sleeping, sitting, even driving for long periods of time can cause this numbness in our fingers. Lots of things could be triggering this numbness in our fingers, and it could be all of the above. At least I feel like that's in my case, not to be dramatic or anything. But this is definitely a space that we are allowed to be dramatic in. So for me, it's all the above, and it may or may not be for you too. But whenever you deal with it, if you do, I know that it's not fun. The moment I feel the sensation of the tingling, the numbness in the fingers, I immediately realize and scan that my body is tense. Either I'm scrunching my shoulders up, or I'm clenching my jaw. Maybe I'm not getting enough oxygen. And again, sometimes it's every single one of those. So I take a moment and I roll my shoulders backwards. I inhale and I exhale, just to collect yourself for a moment. Then I begin to just roll the shoulders back, again scanning my body. And right now I'm noticing a bunch of crunchies. It's making music up in here. So then I'll go the other way and do this for about 30 seconds on each side, or whatever your body's feeling like for the day. You can do a little shimmy. Anything that opens up this chest kind of gives you an idea of what's going on up there. All right. Then once I finished scanning, I start out easy and I stretch out the back side, the posterior arm, if you can see. So I'm just taking my arm and I'm bringing it across my chest. I move my fingers around, give me something to do, because in my mind I'm like, okay, already done. But no, we gotta stretch. So definitely roll the wrists. I've been dealing with an injury, so I'm gonna be mindful of this wrist. And once you feel, I'm burning here in this sensation, it's pretty, I probably should have stretched longer today. And I do the other side. So notice how today you may feel more tight than yesterday. And notice I'm just I'm twisting this wrist to give myself a mini massage. And I'm pulling this arm forward since I've crossed my body. And my palm is facing the back. At times it's straight. I like to just get a sense of how my body's feeling. Good job. So next, I want to begin by the alignment here. I would suggest, in my case, this is how I feel more comfortable. So I sit on the ground. If you want to sit on a pillow, if that works for you. You're going to tuck the pelvis in. You're going to tighten the upper core, kind of flex your abs a little bit. You're going to knit the lower ribs in, all right? So that automatically aligns the hip with the ribs, which naturally aligns the hips with the shoulders. And so everything is now tucked tight, and you're bringing awareness to your center body, okay? Oh, she wants attention. Can't go wrong with petting a cat. to business. So, once everything is aligned and you've gotten a central awareness of how you're feeling, I like to roll the shoulders back, rest the backs of the hands here on your knees. Now everything is still in alignment and you reach all the way up. And I like to inhale. I take my hand and I place on my elbow and I give my back a nice stretch. So I'm stretching my triceps, I'm stretching my rhomboids, and I'm stretching the erector spinae, which are the muscles along the spine that keep your spine erect, okay? So because I was so prominent in my intention with the alignment, here's why. Because when I'm in this position, I like to lean, okay? And I like to deepen this stretch. But with that being said, I'm monitoring how my core is feeling. So I don't want to sink in, but I want to be upright, tucked in, and strong. So I stretch out, the muscles that are stagnant here, okay? There's a lot of lymph here that promotes, that's your immune system. So if all that's stagnant, you can only imagine you're not going to be able to fight off certain infections. And now more than ever, it's really important to take care of yourself. So to recap, we are going to keep our body centered. We're going to keep it strong. We are going to have an intention there to keep all of that together so that we don't injure ourselves when we do stretch to the side if you do want to make that deeper for yourself. One thing I do want to emphasize is that do not sacrifice your body mechanics for a deeper stretch or a heavier weight set if you weight lift. It's going to minimize your function. If you're doing something incorrectly, you're not going to build the proper muscles you need to do what you're trying to do in the first place. So you're just going to deteriorate yourself quicker, and that's no good. So keep your body right and make sure everything is aligned so that your center is always sturdy. Okay. Keep in mind that I am sitting down. I will make a video in the future, possibly of me standing up doing these if you wanted to incorporate that, if you'd prefer that to be in your practice. That way you'll have that into your belt as well. Next, we are going to stretch our wrists. So our wrists handle so much more than we give them credit for. They're constantly moving, picking up things, anything that we're doing, we need them. So with that being said, these need a little TLC, maybe some lotion too. Okay, here's how I stretch my wrists. I'm sitting crisscross applesauce because some people are not able to sit on their knees. This is one way you can sit. This is how I sit sometimes when I am looking for a deeper stretch. Today we'll keep it simple. We are going to start by stretching the front of our hands, okay? So use the ground as your guide and lean forward on the fronts of your hands. Now I'll show you if I were on my knees what I would like to do. I like to use my knees to massage the fronts of my hands, okay? So if you feel like you're able to play around and have some fun, try this out. It feels good. Gives it a nice deep stretch and cracks a couple of my fingers. But definitely don't move forward with that if you feel like that's not in your practice for the day. Otherwise, here's a good, just sink into this. Give yourself some time, 30 seconds to a minute. If you're stretching, you might as well go the extra mile for yourself. So now, once we've done that, we've taken a few deep breaths here. We're going to move towards our hands, our palms, right here, our wrists and our forearms. And we are going to again use the ground as your guide and stretch the fingers out. Take a nice big deep breath here. We've been using our hands all day. And exhale. The more oxygen that you can intake during your stretching time, the more blood you're going to bring to the areas you're stretching, which will help regenerate any type of damaged tissue. It will allow you to stretch deeper. It will give life to your muscles, to your body, to your soul. All right, so come up and notice the change. Notice that internal space we've created, but we're not done here. This is when getting on your knees could be beneficial, but again, what we're going to do is keep it simple. We're going to do one hand at a time now, just to really focus on what we're doing. And if you can, bring your palm, the back of your hand flat to the ground, okay? And you put a little pressure on that, rock back and forth. Now if I was on my knees, this would be a deeper stretch, okay? Rock back and forth, little circles. And now switch to where your palm will be on the ground to the opposite side, okay? And then rock around just like you did to the other side. Okay. Sometimes I like to twist my arm to further that stretch. Don't do it if it's not in your practice. It gives you a chance to really listen to your body. And then do the other side. This one's a little tighter for me. And then now, switch. Feel free to pause the video and sit here and do this for as long as you need. One thing that you can also do is both hands at the same time. That works as well. Great. Now that you have completed the wrist stretching, we are going to move to finger stretching. All right, so take a seated position, however you'd like to sit, works for me. We're going to begin with our left hand. So reach it out in front of you and take a big deep breath. We're super grateful that we can even stretch these hands, right? So begin with your pinky finger and pull back. I like to make little circles, make sure I'm not stretching too hard, but noticing the tension in there. And now move on. Same for your ring finger. Little circles, move them the other way. Next finger. Like, whoa, that one's a little tight. And now to the finger. And pull back in little circles. And now for your thumb. Okay. I prefer nice slow movements. Very concentrated stretches so that I know when I need to stop, okay, or when I want to go a little further. Now go ahead and take all your fingers back, and that's nice, isn't it? Good. I like to go the opposite way, just to show a little extra. Now we're going to do the other arm. Out in front of you, pinky first, little circles, and big deep breaths. Good, now the other way. And move to the next finger. Good job. We're grateful that we can stretch these hands. Okay, so that's my middle finger. Now I'm going to move to my index finger, my pointer finger, and this one. All right, thumb. Feels really, really good. All right, good job. We've stretched our wrists, our hands, we've stretched our back. All of that is going to help you feel super good. But if you want to feel great, here is a little extra tip. In this moment, take a big, deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Pause for just a moment and tune into you. Roll your palms to the sky and rest them on the top of your knees. So go ahead and tuck your pelvis in like we've talked about before. Gently tighten your core, kind of flex your abs, even if they're protected by some stuff. Imagine your lower ribs knitting in to where now you feel your hips naturally shift to align with your shoulders. Okay, so with your palms rotated up and you have felt that security within this core, the stability, sit for just a moment, inhale with that strength. So naturally, with just a little effort, you become erect and present for yourself and now for the world. So as you see, our bodies are properly aligned. We are creating blood circulation, blood's flowing. We're creating internal and mental space. Okay, so with this being said, we're not slouched over in this position. We're not leaning too much to one side. We're just remaining neutral. And so when I rotate my palms out and up to the sky, it's a natural cue to straighten my back, to have me remember, okay, I need to sit up straight. Okay, so that the blood doesn't get caught up, because when we're in one position too long, or if we're slouching, or if we're improperly moving with not the right body mechanics, that's where that pent up tension is going to reside. That's where things are going to interfere with each other, such as blood flow, which is another reason why we can't feel our hands sometimes. We're getting improper circulation. Through breathing, through proper posture, we're promoting that blood circulation. We're promoting that mindfulness. We are training our brain for good habits. So notice the reward when you do sit, when you do roll your back, your palms up and your shoulders back, and you're engaging your core muscles to help you sit upright. All of this is going to trigger, oh wow, I feel good. So you're going to want to be more proactive to do this again. You're going to train your brain to want to stretch more. You're going to train your brain to want to feel good, to be good. And when you do good, you feel good. It's just inevitable. So this is definitely a tip. But if you're willing to go the extra mile and do that for yourself, practice your posture, see how often you can check in with yourself See how often, you want to correct your posture. See if it becomes a habit. Notice when you're actively avoiding your proper posture. That's funny within itself. So be honest with yourself, because that's where you grow. I hope you found this helpful, and I'm looking forward to more issues with you, because they're always going to arise. Feel free to comment below some issues you may be struggling with. I would be more than happy to see if I'm in the same boat or could possibly give you an idea of what I would do if I were. Until next time.